worked 10 years at a battery system. It was a small little outfit that serviced UPSs and batteries. And they installed Mitsubishi UPSs for a while. I used to do all the preliminary wiring for the Mitsubishi UPSs. Mostly installed 9900As and 9900 Bravos. And I used to do the startups with, I'd be on site in case the Mitsubishi tech ended up needing something done, like some control wires are missing or et cetera, et cetera. And one day I was just talking to Tony Corrado, and he told me about the job and how much they paid and all that stuff. And he got me really interested in it, just the way he explained it. And then I put a resume up on the website, and then I got hired like a month after that. Well, the Navy taught me to tolerate pain and suffering. That's how it is. And everything from that just builds on how to interact with other people and all that stuff, and try to get along and all that. To me, that's more important than all the rest of it. It's just you learn you mature. But troubleshooting a fan versus troubleshooting a UPS, it's all the same process. And once you learn the process, you just improve with it. Typically, with UPSs, I'd say 99% of the time it's going to be a battery issue, because batteries are basically the moving parts in the UPS. If you have a fan fault, you'll know that before you get there, because the UPS tells you the current's bad, it tripped the thermal relay, whatever. But it normally rolls down to the batteries. The biggest trends I've seen is the shift away from lead acid batteries towards the lithium ion, just due to smaller footprint. And I've also noticed that we are shrinking the size of our UPS footprints. My biggest emphasis on the safety as far as being on the site is what they call live checks. Basically verify the equipment's down. I understand on a battery you can't shut it off, so that you just can't. There's no on-off switch on a battery. It's not like a breaker or anything like that. The battery is just always hot, and you just learn to respect it. And especially when I'm working with new coworkers, I emphasize the dead live checks. What's the first thing you do? What's the first thing you do? What's the first thing you do? You check that voltage. You make sure it's dead. Customer site recently, the site contact told me my maintenance bypass panel was de-energized. Well, the first thing I do is I check that voltage. I get out my meter. I have 208 in there. And if I'd have just took that guy's word for it, I'd have had my hands inside a live 208 three-phase, being fed by I want to say a 30 amp breaker. It might be a 60 amp breaker, but that's enough to take a finger, burn your hand real bad, etc. And I've been doing this forever, so you have to always check that voltages and stuff like that. In my opinion, the training's more important than the PPE. The PPE is more of a fail-safe. Like, you don't want to rely on PPE ever, because there's always a chance that glove tore, the piece of insulation has a nick in it. There's always that chance. So you're better off just not putting the wrench you're using in that position than to rely on the fact that, it's got rubber coating on it. Because that one day you're like, it's got rubber coating on it, and you just set it on top of that battery. Well, it'll short that battery out, and then woof, there you go. 2,000 amps flying through it. Make sure you stay on top of the maintenance. Get an annual PM contract for us. If you have any problems, call the 800 number. Before you do anything, just call the 800 number. It doesn't matter, just call it. If you have any question about how to operate anything, just call that number. Stay on top of the maintenance. That way you don't get surprises. Make sure you get the fans changed, and keep up with the rest of the recommended parts. When I got tasked with going down to the customer site in Phoenix to start up 8 pods, they gave me 2 weeks. The batteries weren't installed, and I was alone. The site gave me 4 electricians to help me install those batteries. So I had to train 4 guys on how to install batteries, make sure that they're being safe during said process, and also start up those 4 pods the next week. I learned a lot about how to train people there and what you can and cannot, rely on other people to do for you. And it definitely was a big moment as far as my work here. Hopefully, I never have to go through that again. I grew up in the Dakotas. I was an Air Force brat. So, Grand Forks, and then Minot, and Ellsworth Air Force Base, which is in Rapid City, South Dakota, near Mount Rushmore. So I don't really have a place I grew up at. There's a lot of them. I used to read a lot of the Dragonlance books growing up, and I'd say my favorite book though would be Dragons of Autumn Solence, I think it's called. But yeah, I used to read that too. I read a lot as a kid. I still read a lot. I have never been to an actual concert other than the little ones my kids used to throw at school. And I think they count anyways. Do their little routines and then sing out of key. It was pretty neat. They're trying so hard, so you had to cheer. It would be a Ford Pinto that someone modified with a 5.0 V8 with a 4-speed transmission. I had a Pinto as a kid. I was going to do it. They sell a kid. A 5.0 will fit in there. Just barely. You probably get a Chevy 350 in there if you tried hard. That little car was on rails, man. I had a lot of fun. I used to jump railroad tracks with it. Me and that car had a lot of fun. Nay. No socks and Hey Dudes are way better. My son got me on them. He's like, Dad, you got to try these. I'm like, no, those things are ridiculous. He's like, you got to try them. So I was out in Hawaii and on vacation last January, and I saw a pair on sale for $20. I'm like, I'll try them. And yeah, those things are amazing. Fries are meant to be in ketchup or ranch. They're not meant to be in a milkshake. I don't like subtitles, but when I'm watching them with my wife, she does. So both. No way. Mushrooms all the time. But fruit does not belong on a pizza. Oh no. That would not work for me at all. Oh, nay. They're bad for your heart, and I don't like how they make me feel. I can feel my heart rate just rocket. And I'm like, no. The biggest thing I've learned from other people and stuff is just not to react. Take a deep breath before you act, so you don't do or say something that you're going to regret later.